Hope you are doing well. Today, horror incident about unseen entity or demon. These stories are all real accounts of things that have happened to me and my family. Reading the posts on here, I started to remember these, so I apologize for the weird order it's written in. I was 20F vacuuming my grandma's hallway one day. I was right in front of the yellow room that my uncle would eventually pass from a heart attack in when I felt a tap on my shoulder. Felt someone blow through my hair and saw my hair fly forward into my face. My gram was the only other person home in the kitchen besides me at the time. She was wheelchair bound and was a non-practical joking Christian who would never try to scare me. Before they moved in 3 or more years before the above incident. I was helping my family paint some of the house. I took a break to read a book in that yellow room. I laid on the floor with my head facing the door, which was open. I heard my dad go out to the car or garage, so I am definitely alone in the house. And few moments after he leaves, the door to the yellow room abruptly slammed shut. And I looked up from my book to see a red-headed woman hanging in the closet to the right of the door. 6 years after this incident, my uncle had a heart attack and was found lying with his eyes wide open in front of that closet. 4 years later, my grandmother passed in the room beside the yellow room. At one point before my uncle passed, my gram asked me if I ever felt the need to call upon the name of Jesus in her house, and I am not religious, but I took that to mean, have you ever felt unsafe and afraid here? And I told her what I had seen in the closet before they moved in. All the color left her face and her eyes were so wide it looked like they could have fallen from the sockets. In a hushed voice, as if she was afraid someone would hear her, she told me the red-headed woman runs naked through my room screaming when I try to sleep. She had me pray with her and we didn't mention it again after that. As her health began to decline, my sister and her kids moved in. The kids were offered the yellow room and had no idea what I saw or that was where their great uncle died. But they both declined and were terrified of going down that hallway. My sister stayed in that room for a while and I believe she was at the height of her chronic depression. My nephew is now preteen and finally worked up the courage to move into that room. He keeps odd hours and the door still closes by itself, but according to him, it never slams shut. My niece was terrorized by a pale black-haired woman in the hallway bathroom. She's the only person in the house that I have heard talk about a woman with black hair there, and it's been a few years since she mentioned seeing her. The air vent is near that yellow room, and I try to reason with myself that the AC came back on, and that's why my hair flew in my face. But I checked the thermostat, and the air conditioner wasn't running. The fan wasn't even on. Contextually, I don't remember when this happened, but I was hanging put with my aunt in her room down the same hallway, but the opposite end. We were just chatting about random stuff when her low-placed ponytail was flung forward over her head and slapped her in the face. I saw it fly up and she didn't make a head-banging gesture to cause it to fly forward. It was like someone went behind her and slapped the underside of her ponytail. Surprisingly, we never had the house cleaned for spirits. My gram was devout, but by the time they moved to VR, she would watch church services on TV and didn't belong to a church community here to get that kind of help. The 4th of July, after my uncle passed, I was using the restroom near the dining room. Opposite end of the house from the bedrooms and hallway, and everyone else was outside either at the grill or doing firework inventory. I distinctly heard the disembodied voice of said late uncle call my name. He had a very distinct voice, deep and disquieting. I was afraid of him when he was alive. He was an addict and had erratic and often violent outbursts. Recently, my mom told me that he would write me letters when they still lived in New York. I could not read or write yet, and he eventually started sending creepy letters asking me why I never wrote him back, or why didn't I want to play with him. That it hurt his feelings, made him upset and so angry. I am so glad she didn't tell me about this until after he died, but it still scared the living hell out of me. I sent this to my niece, and she said that when they talk about what they have seen in the house, the lights flicker. She also said she had a dream that our Gram came back, but she looked different. My Gram used to color her hair red. It's my advice, if you ever visit, remember to be careful around the river and the forest. For the spirits they are hungry for fear, or always inquire about the house before move-in. Keep yourself and others safe from any type of scary activity. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe.